Good evening, Pine Cliffs. I'm your host, Galen Good, and welcome to the Pine Cliffs Observer, watching them to keep you safe. Now, before I get into the news, the owner of our little station, Amelia Maller, has asked me to make a brief announcement. We are no longer looking for a station manager, Pine Cliffs. The position has been filled. As we speak, Amelia is training our new manager-to-be, Austin Patterson. I'm not sure when he'll finish his manager training, but I'm sure that when he does, he'll be a fine manager. Oh, and one more thing, Pine Cliffs. As you might know, the security room renovations haven't finished yet, so the monitors and equipment are still right here in my recording booth. If anyone would be interested in renovating our security room, please call the station owner, Amelia Maller. For some reason, we haven't been able to get in contact with our previous contractor for months, so we're looking for a new one. With that out of the way, here's the news. Pine Cliffs, there seems to be a slight issue with today's news. There doesn't appear to be any. I guess the news just isn't up to it today. It happens on occasion. Sometimes, no matter how many blood sacrifices we perform, the news just won't cooperate. I could check the cage we keep the news in, but I'm sure it's still there. The news hasn't gotten out of its cage since I first started working here, so it's probably just a slow news day. Now, since there isn't any news, Pine Cliffs, I decided that I'll just tell you all about Thanksgiving here at the station. I know it's a bit unorthodox, but hey, we don't have any news for today. I have to talk about something, right? Right. Well, Pine Cliffs, those of us here at the station spend Thanksgiving together. Instead of us staying at our individual homes and making a whole dinner, we each bring a dish on Thanksgiving Day and celebrate the holiday. Our station's little potluck Thanksgivings are pretty convenient for everyone involved. Anyways, I was supposed to bring the main dish, and I know most of you like to eat turkey on Thanksgiving. I do too, but I might have forgotten to get a turkey. So I decided to make the next best thing, a roast pig, with the apple in the mouth and everything. Elsa brought her sweet potato casserole, a real treat, Pine Cliffs. Our station manager in training, Austin Patterson, brought some mashed potatoes and gravy. And our station's owner, Amelia Maller, had the owner of Nighthawk's Diner, Big Ed, bring over some pecan pie. It was really something. Sorry, Pine Cliffs, more on my Thanksgiving in just a moment. It looks like at some point Elsa, our station intern, texted me. It would seem that today's news somehow managed to break out of its cage. She has notified Sheriff Isaac Maller, and he should have called you already, Pine Cliffs, but just in case you were out when the calls went out, lock your doors and close your windows. If you are home, stay there. If not, find a safe, enclosed area, somewhere that the news will not be able to enter. Hunker down until further notice, Pine Cliffs. If you hear any suspicious noises, such as scratching at the door, a low growling noise, or multiple whispering voices, please contact the Sheriff's Department immediately. The sooner they can catch the news, the sooner we can keep it from inflicting real harm. While we wait for more information on the news, here's this week's weather forecast. Sunday will be cloudy, with 15 to 20 mile per hour winds coming from the north. Temperatures are expected to be in the mid-40s. Monday will be a cold, bitter day, as it always is. Temperatures are expected to reach roughly 25 degrees below zero. Make sure to wear plenty of layers and try to keep your pipes from bursting, Pine Cliffs. Tuesday through Friday will be an ascension, a rise and a fall of something so much more than we are that we won't even notice. Saturday will be cloudy with a 75% chance of snow. temperatures are expected to be in the high 20s. Listeners, during the weather forecast, Elsa updated me on the news. Someone on the north side of town saw long, ragged claw marks in the middle of Butcher's Lane. The sheriff's department has set up a perimeter around the north side of town and is sending in search parties as we speak. This is rather exciting, Pine Cliffs, but it is rather dangerous for us as well. I know it's been quite some time since the news has broken loose, and some of our younger listeners might have never even seen the news. So, what does the news look like? Well, that's a bit of a trick question. The news has no true form. It is able to change its shape at will. However, some parts of its form never change. The news always has at least 3 5-inch long claws, 2 mouths side by side, and the news is always covered in fur. The news also has a tendency to growl, and those near it will hear multiple whispering voices. So, with that description in mind, if you see the news, Pine Cliffs, do not approach it. The news is a particularly violent and indiscriminate predator, and should not be approached. If you see the news outside, then stay in your home and contact the sheriff's department immediately. If you see the news inside, then contact the sheriff's department, exit your home, fill your pockets with raw meat, and just run around the street making as much noise as you can. This will make it easier for the search parties to find the news. With this in mind, here is a word from today's sponsor. Have you ever been wronged, Pine Cliffs? Have you ever needed to take revenge? Do you want to do it legally? Well, now you can. McDonald's. We deliver. Well, Pine Cliffs, it would appear that the news has yet to be captured. Since it might be a while, I thought I'd look at the security footage from the last 24 hours, so I can see how the news escaped its cage. That particular part of the station, appropriately named the newsroom, has several cameras. I haven't been in there in ages. It actually took me a few seconds to recognize it. The stone altar and ceremonial dagger are where we usually leave them. That is definitely a new typewriter, though. The news cage is entirely intact, its door wide open. I'm looking back through the footage now, Pine Cliffs. So now we can see just how the news got out. It wouldn't surprise me if Austin accidentally let it out. I know my first time here I accidentally let the news out, but that's not Austin. Pine Cliffs, I'm looking at footage from just before I came into work. There is someone in the newsroom opening the cage's door. It's the Wanderer? It has to be. That half mask, that smile. He was here. He could still be here. Okay, let's follow him around a bit. He walks out of the newsroom, walks up to my recording booth, slips something under the door, then walks the other way and leaves the building, but that can't be. He leaves at the same time I enter the building, through the same door. He's holding it open for me. How could I not have noticed him? Footage must be wrong. I opened that door, I walked into the building, and no one was there. Not Elsa, not Austin, not the Wanderer. No one. Stupid security cameras must be defective. He wasn't there, and there was nothing on the floor when I walked into the recording booth. It's not right. That wasn't there before. Listeners, there is an envelope on the floor behind me. It wasn't there before. What's going on here? Listeners, I've opened the envelope. There is a piece of paper inside, something written in... Is that charcoal? It's a short letter. I'm sorry about releasing the news, but it was my only way to get you to see this. You people have a hard time perceiving me or my actions directly. Even perceiving me indirectly, like in a video or a photograph, just doesn't last forever. And I've been trying to get into contact with you for a while, Galen. Just name a time and place. I can be anywhere, and I have all the time in the world. Hope to see you soon. And then under that it has the word Wanderer written in all caps. I'll set it aside for a moment. I need to think. He was here. He let the news out. I could have run into the news. And here I was thinking today was going to be a slow, easy day at the station. Oh. Would you look at that? Pine Cliffs, it looks like I got a message from Elsa. It would appear that the search teams have found the news. It was behind the dumpster at Nighthawk's Diner, and it was badly injured. It didn't resist attempts to contain it, and is being brought to the station as we speak. It should recover within the week. The news has impressive regenerative abilities, but for now we are essentially newsless. What could have hurt the news? It has no natural predators. Nothing I can think of would even consider fighting it. Could it have been the Wanderer? It wouldn't surprise me. He let it out. He confessed to that much in this letter. Where did it go? I said it right here. I know it. Was he here? Is he... Nope. No. No. I am not getting paid enough to worry about this right now. I'll talk to Amelia about setting up a meeting just to see what he wants. I'll go home, enjoy some of the leftovers from the Thanksgiving potluck, and if I'm lucky, maybe I'll get some sleep tonight. Up next on our airwaves, a soft scratching sound interspersed with the tearing of papers that are not in any way important. This is Galen Good signing off. Until next time, Pine Cliffs. Until next time. This has been Pine Cliffs Radio, written and narrated by myself, Guhalin96. A quick thanks to Raener Lewington, who got me to start doing this. A link to his channel is in the description. If you like this show, please like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. And by the way, thanks for listening.